So, if you're using AI kind of like, typing a question into a chat box and just crossing your fingers for something good, well, we might be stuck in the stone age of AI workflows.
Yeah, it's a bit like searching the world's smartest brain, but like in the dark.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
today we're going to crack open a really specific, structured system, the kind that high leverage professionals are actually using.
Right. We're moving past just, basic prompting. This is a deep dive into a 6-step hybrid approach.
Yeah.
It comes from founders, developers, creators, people really executing at scale.
And the mission for you listening is really to understand the structure, maybe even adopt it.
And there's a big mindset shift involved here. The core idea.
Yeah.
AI isn't magic, it's leverage, pure and simple.
The author doesn't even see it as just a tool, right? It's more like an extension of their mind.
Precisely. Or a new operating system for personal power. That's the framing.
A new OS for personal power. I like that. It really changes how you think about your own role, doesn't it? If AI handles the, let's say, the mechanical thinking, the drafting, the structuring, where does that leave us?
Well, it clarifies things, actually. It means our time, the human time, is way too valuable for those tasks AI can handle.
Okay, so what should we focus on then?
Judgment,
Yeah.
taste, creativity, vision. The truly human stuff. We delegate the thinking tasks, the structuring, the testing.
We offload it.
Exactly. Offload it to amplify our own core thinking. We set the direction. We ensure the quality. That's the human value add.
Okay, let's get into the 6-step journey then. Moving from a frustrated prompter to, well, maybe an AI master. It starts with the foundation, the first few steps. Step 1, clarify the outcome first.
Right. And this is crucial. Forget the prompt, just for a moment.
Forget the prompt. That feels counterintuitive.
I know, but most people fail because they obsess about crafting the perfect sentence for the AI. They focus on the input, the hammer.
Instead of the blueprint.
Exactly. The starting point has to be the intention. Ask yourself, what result, what specific thing do I need the AI to produce that will actually move my work forward? A measurable result.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. So starting with the outcome avoids all that back and forth, the friction where the AI gives you something technically right, but like totally useless for your actual need.
Precisely. If you say, I need a 1,000-word article outline for mid-level Kubernetes engineers, that's a clear contract for success. Way better than just write about Kubernetes.
Got it. Okay, so that clear outcome then enables step 2, which is using AI to break the work down.
Yeah.
Into smart modules.
Yeah, this is where the AI acts as your project architect.
So if you've got a huge task, like, I don't know, designing some Python automation or writing a big technical paper, you don't just dump it on the AI.
Never. Absolutely not. You use the AI to structure the work first. Break it down.
And what's interesting here, you're saying the pro delegates the architecture, the planning part.
Yes. They don't ask for the finished thing right away. They ask for a smart plan. The source even gives a template for this. Something like,
Let me guess. Act as a project architect.
you got it. Act as a project architect. Break this task into logical phases, tasks, and the smartest sequence to complete it with AI support.
Okay, I see the power there. It's like asking for the blueprint before the bricks. But doesn't breaking it down feel a bit like work I should be doing myself? Isn't the point to delegate?
Well, it's strategic delegation versus blind delegation. You're leveraging the AI's speed to do a high-level cognitive task architecting, but you guide the scope based on that outcome you defined.
Right. If you just dump the whole project, you get a generic plan.
Exactly. But if you ask it to architect based on your desired outcome, tailored to your needs, you save potentially weeks of frustration later. It's smart preparation.
Okay, that clarifies it. So we know the what, the outcome, we have the how, the architecture, but the AI still needs the context, right? Who are we? What are we building this for? Which brings us to step 3, building the AI working memory.
And this one. This is the step the author claims saves 70% of re-explaining time later. It's massive.
70%. Wow. Okay, so what is this working memory?
It's context loading. And it's probably the single biggest mistake beginners make. They skip this.
Why is it so important?
Think of it like this. Every time you open a new chat, you're essentially hiring a brand new assistant who knows nothing. Zero memory.
Okay.
If you want specialized, useful output, you have to give him a comprehensive brief first. Load the context.
And if you don't, what happens then?
You get generic junk,
Yeah.
and then you're stuck in that painful cycle. No, change the tone. No, use this tech stack. No, my audience won't get that. iteration hell.
Right. So this step prevents all that frustration.
Exactly. The efficiency gain is huge. You'd able specialized output right from the start. So like for writing, you'd load in the tone, the voice, the reader level, the structure, the key message.
And for, say, a product build.
You'd load the audience, the use case, the tech stack,
Yeah.
any constraints, your success criteria, all of it up front.
So we're basically defining the sandbox the AI has to play in, giving it the rules of the game for this specific project.
You nailed it. It turns the AI into an instant expert for your immediate need.
Okay, so that covers the foundation: outcome, architecture, working memory. Now we move into execution, judgment, elevation, the final 3 steps. Step 4 is execution, but crucially, keep judgment human.
Yes. And this step really highlights that mindset difference again. Beginner versus professional.
How so?
Beginners tend to delegate the thinking. They want the AI to figure it all out. Professionals delegate the output.
So the pro uses the plan, uses the context, and says, okay, AI, build this deliverable based on these specs.
Right. But crucially, they never delegate ownership of the final result. The judgment stays human.
The mantra is sort of AI builds, I refine.
Exactly that. Human
Yeah.
judgment is the critical factor. You can't outsource your critical analysis, your taste, your perspective. That's your edge.
You gain speed by outsourcing the draft, the code, whatever.
Yeah.
But you reserve your unique human viewpoint for the review.
But hang on, here's a question I have. What if the task is super technical? Let's say complex Python code or optimizing some intricate prompt, and I'm not the deep domain expert. How do I apply judgment then without kind of accidentally delegating the thinking?
That's a really fair point. I think the workflow handles this by shifting what you're judging. You might not judge the code syntax line by line, maybe,
Right.
but you absolutely judge its fitness for purpose. Does this code actually meet the constraints we set in step 3, the working memory? Does it produce the outcome we defined in step 1?
So you're judging the strategic result, the alignment with the goals, not necessarily the nitty-gritty execution details, judging the product, not the programming nuances.
Exactly, which is where human oversight remains essential.
That makes sense. Okay, so the AI builds, we judge, we refine. Now, the beginner probably stops there, right? They got their output.
They stop at done. But the AI native pro, they immediately go to step 5. Use AI to audit, stress test, and improve.
Right. It's not just done, it has to be elevated.
So you actually turn the AI back on its own work. Or maybe work you did yourself.
Yes. Leverage its critical capacity. Turn the creator into the reviewer. It's a powerful loop.
How does that work in practice?
Instead of waiting ages for peer review, you run an immediate stress test. You instruct the AI. Act as a critical reviewer. Find the flaws, the missing pieces. How can we improve clarity, depth, value? Suggest fixes.
That sounds incredibly efficient, using the AI's speed for instant feedback and iteration. Is there a trap here, though? Like, do people just blindly accept whatever fixes the AI suggests?
That's definitely a risk. Accepting fixes without verifying them yourself is one trap. The other big one is not providing an adversarial perspective.
Adversarial. What do you mean?
Well, the high-leverage user doesn't just ask for a neutral review. They tell the AI to take on a tougher persona, act as my harshest critic, or act like a competitor who wants this to fail.
Okay. So you force it to look for weaknesses a polite reviewer might miss.
Precisely. It pushes the quality from good to genuinely exceptional much faster.
Okay, so we've executed, we've judged, we've audited and elevated. The work is exceptional. Now, the final step, step 6. Close with leverage outputs. The multiplier effect.
Yes, and honestly, this might be the most advanced step and the biggest mistake people make. Treating the AI output as a one-and-done thing.
Finishing the task, closing the chat window, moving on.
Exactly. The professional's rule, according to this source, is that every single AI-created outcome must create secondary value automatically.
Automatically. How does that work? Is the AI packaging things up?
Not quite automatically like magic, means using the working memory you built in step 3 to run more hyper-efficient prompts immediately after the main task.
Okay, so it's about asset generation, not just task completion, because the context is already loaded.
Right, the AI knows the tone, audience, message. You don't re-explain, you just follow up. Okay, based on that article, give me 3 email ideas.
Explain that.
Now, pull out 2 scripts for 60-second video shorts. Now, synthesize the core ideas into a framework diagram. Now, draft a concept for a related tool.
Wow. So it's an efficiency loop built entirely on that initial context loading. You invest upfront in prep and auditing.
And then you harvest that investment across multiple formats, multiple channels. That example from the source is perfect. One dev.tel article becomes 3 emails, 2 video shorts, a framework, a tool concept.
It's not just finishing a task, it's generating a whole campaign's worth of material.
Exactly. Exponentially increasing your output without exponentially increasing your effort.
Okay, this whole 6-step process, it really feels like a system. The feedback mentioned in the source, that mindset shift changes everything, seems spot on. It's not just tips.
It really is a foundational shift, which brings us to the sort of strategic why behind all this. The author calls it the light rebellion perspective.
Light rebellion, what's that about?
It's the belief, basically, that the world is kind of sleepwalking into the AI era with old systems, just treating AI like a slightly better search engine or a fun novelty.
That's seen as a strategic failure.
A major one, yeah, according to this perspective.
So when the source calls this hybrid workflow the minimum requirement to stay relevant, competitive, unstoppable, is that hyperbole or is it a realistic assessment for professionals?
Honestly, I think it's pretty accurate. The real competition isn't human versus human anymore. It's human plus AI versus human without AI.
And the human using this structured workflow
Is operating at potentially 10x the speed, the quality, the output volume.
Right.
This system forces you to spend less time on the grunt work, the execution.
and maximize time on strategy, judgment, creativity, the human differentiators.
Exactly. Which are arguably the only true differentiators left.
So that's why this matters to you, listening. Adopting these steps, intention, architecture, working memory, execution with judgment, audit, and leverage, it's a clear path, a way to become an AI native thinker.
Right. You delegate the mechanics, reserve your energy for what counts.
It connects back to that core idea. AI is a thinking partner, an execution engine, but only if you prepare strategically that working memory is key and then always leverage the outputs.
Once you really experience working this way, moving from frustration to this kind of leveraged mastery, it's hard to imagine going back. It fundamentally resets your baseline for productivity.
Yeah, you really wouldn't go back.
Absolutely. And the source kind of leaves us with this bigger thought, shifting from tactics to, like, personal evolution.
Yeah.
It says the question isn't, should I use AI anymore?
What is it then?
The question is, what version of myself do I become when I learn to think and work with AI?
Wow. That really reframes it. It's about evolving your own capabilities, redefining your value.
It's a profound challenge, definitely something to chew on.
A great place to pause for today. And for those already thinking ahead, the author apparently plans to explore the prompt layer most beginners miss next. So even more layers to uncover.
Always more to learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, embedding these 6 steps first. That's the critical foundation.